Hey everybody, it is Vlogmas Day 5, and I'm coming at you with a writing vlog, but not just any writing vlog, a commentary on my writing in this vlog. I put up a lot of my writings on, or I'm starting to, on Patreon, so if you want to follow me on that, the link will be down in the description box below. But I am editing my first chapter, and what I wanted to go through is I wanted to talk about how I write my chapter, and I think a lot of people do this. I especially do this not just in my writing, but also my filming whenever I edit. So, what I did basically was I typed up my entire first chapter and just got everything out of my head, because the worst thing you can do to yourself is you can put up those blocks and be like, oh no one's gonna like that. Just like put it out on paper. Nobody's gonna read it when you first put it out, so just put it all on paper, either write it or type it, and then once you're finished with the chapter, you leave it alone. Don't come back to it until you are clear-headed. So, like, give yourself a few days, even a week, and maybe more if you need, but you come back and you print it out. You need to print it out. Just don't do it on the computer. It's going to be worse. But you print it out, you take a red pen, and you just go through it. And so that is what I did. I red marked this entire thing up, like, it is horrendous. I had to take out some parts. So, yeah, it's pretty interesting. I am very thankful I did that, because if I didn't print it out and I didn't read through it, I would have still kept it that way, and there's a lot of things I did not like about it. So, I'm going to talk about some of the things I did with this, like, when I wrote down, what was it? Oh, so whenever I'm writing my wow, I can't speak. My dialogue, I write it just how I would, like, da-da-da-da, he said, da-da-da-da, she said, da-da-da, he said, back and forth, back and forth. And then I go back, I first of all need to learn more about the characters, so maybe write an instance, like, write down their name, age, whatever, which you can always go on Pinterest and look up character concept forms or whatever, fill out form, whatever it is. You can just go on Pinterest, and they have tons of pages where you can, it's like little templates where you can kind of write more about your character. But anyway, so I would go back and I would put in, like, da-da-da, he said, while fidgeting with his top collar button. Little things that they would do in normal conversation, or when they're nervous, or when they're excited, stuff like that. Like, what would they do on the regular basis to make them more real? And so that's, of course, what I did with this. And I also had to take an account of what was going on in the room. So you have to think about so many things, like say, for instance, like this right now, you would describe me as talking to the camera in while I'm messing with my sweater. The room was very dark, but there were Christmas lights, just like, you have to go from the person to how the person's looking to what the person's doing. And so I need to take, or I did take each part and, like, what did the room look like? What did the person look like? There was a part where the character that I am writing, she's up in the middle of the night, and her, dad comes downstairs and sees her, up and talking to her sister through this comm system that they have, this futuristic technology that's in the story. And he's, like, totally just almost asleep entirely. He's just so tired that I described his eyes as being like almost swollen shut, I think. Yeah, his eyes could barely open from being so sleepy, like stuff like that. How his hair looked, all this stuff, like what he was wearing, how he was walking, kind of that kind of thing. So I had to describe that, and you have to like take into account what each person's doing and how they normally look, and then how they look when they're tired, kind of thing. So I had to really know my characters, and I think that's the important thing whenever you write your first chapter, is sometimes you don't know your characters and you're just writing it out. After you write it out and you edit it, you will know more of your character because you'll want your character to do this. And always take notes of what your character does. So you can take it like on a little 3x5 note card and be like, hey, whenever my character gets nervous, they do this. Or whenever my character is bored, they do this. All this stuff. So just like to keep it consistent throughout the story. And that's what you see on like a lot of people, a lot of writers, both on television and in books. Sometimes they'll have notes all over their office about like, this character doesn't like to look at this person, so they don't look at this person the entire time. Or, something stupid like that, but like, maybe not stupid, but like something a little trivial that your readers maybe might not pick up on, but if they do, then they'll appreciate the story even more. So, yeah, I think that's just something to take into account whenever you're writing your chapter, especially your first one. What I did is, the thing though that you should not do is you can write exposition and you can describe your characters are placed throughout like the internal dialogue, like in between external dialogue, but don't do it too much because this is only your first chapter, and so give the reader as much as like what's necessary with each thing that they're doing, because you can still describe them throughout the story. And that's always something that I think a lot of people forget sometimes, especially when they're writing. They just give way too much information, and it's kind of like downloading something on your computer. If you're doing like little files and you do it in rotate, like little in little spurts of time, like you download one file, then you wait a few minutes, then you download another, then that's an appropriate thing. Your computer's gonna take it in more and it's gonna be faster for the intake. But if you do it all at once, it's gonna take very slow to do it. So you're gonna want to like have your readers digest things very comfortably and very and at a good pace too. So that's something that I had to definitely learn, because I would have to like, there are some places where I had to cross out and be like, don't introduce this until the 4th chapter or something like that. Like different things like that. And I think also I had to learn a few things, especially with creating a world that's within the genre of science fiction and fantasy, because there's really no rules to it and you can create whatever you want, but you have to be consistent. So like what they call their parents, I mean, like, it's just gonna be mother and father, but unless they're kids, then it's, something else, like mom and something or whatever. I forget what I have written down here, but you just have to like make sure you're consistent, and they all only call like their parents by the names that they call their kid because they're upset or something like that. I don't know, but you have to like make it consistent with their character and with the relationship they have with their parents, stuff like that. Like you have to make sure you have the appropriate terms written, like written down correctly, or else your reader is going to get very confused and not going to know what's going on. And also, don't underestimate your readers, because if you use different terms for like different things for your new world, and you use it in a way that it's kind of like fill in the blank and it's going to be easy for them, they're going to pick it up. So it's just like how you describe it and what you use it for. Like if you call a gun as something different in your world, then they'll pick it up because it will shoot, and you can describe how it feels in a hand or something like that, you know. Different things like that. So I think that's what I had to learn with my first chapter, and it definitely helped with writing it out and then leaving it alone and then printing it out and marking it up, because I went through, I mean, it took me a while because I don't read slowly, but whenever I edit I read slowly because I don't want to miss anything. And it's definitely good to take notes in the margin. I already do. Like, if I show you some of the books that I have, I write in the margins all the time, so I just like to keep track of all my notes and stuff like that. But I will say that it is very challenging to write this chapter and to keep track of all the notes that I've made and all that stuff. But if I write it down on a note and I keep, on my desk or somewhere near here where I can take it out and read it, I'll have it memorized in my head, and so whenever I write something, I'll immediately know about this character, like, oh, they do this, this, and this whenever, they're eating or they're talking to someone, something like that. So, yeah, that's basically what you should know whenever you're writing your first chapter. And also, don't be so hard on yourself. I tend to do that a lot, and I tend to be way too hard on myself whenever I'm writing. I don't feel like it's good enough, or it's like okay for someone to read, because I get really nervous about that. And so whenever I do a writing class, I get so nervous at the beginning, and then by the end I'm like, oh, I love sharing my stuff with people. Like, I love letting people read my stuff, and then after I'm done, I immediately shrink out of it. I'm like, oh, I don't want anybody to read it anymore. So I'll just have to ride that high, because I just finished a writing class, and hopefully I'll be okay with people reading my stuff again. But yeah. So I've written my first chapter. I think you can read the unedited, not the one that I have right now, but the first edit of my chapter on Patreon. So they'll be linked down below, my Patreon will, and you can check it out. It's fun. Let's see what else. Also, my socials will be down, and if you like this video, you can hit the like button and subscribe, because I make videos like this, videos about film, TV, even some daily vlogs, because I write a lot, and so I like to do a lot of writing vlogs. Oh, I just hit myself in the face. But yeah, if you guys want to hear more about my writing, I'm more than happy to share. Yeah. So that's for Vlogmas Day 5. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for another vlog, which may or may not be another writing vlog, but who knows? Who knows? So yeah. Stay tuned.